The Honda Pilot was updated for 2026 with this bigger, blockier grille, extra standard features, better tech, and improvements to the way it drove. But for the most part though, it remains a well-rounded three-row family hauler with two main drawbacks. I'm James Riswick. Let's take a closer look at the Honda Pilot in this review, powered by Capital One Auto Navigator. Let's start off with the positive, because there's nothing more distinctive about the Pilot than its second row seat. Now, in every other three-row SUV, you have to decide when you're buying it whether you want a three-person bench or two-person captain's chairs, and that's if you're given a choice at all. In the Pilot, you get both. The middle seat not only doubles as a center console style armrest, but it's removable, meaning that yes, it can be that three-person bench with eight-person total capacity, or it can provide that open passageway to the third row. Now, to be fair, it is a little awkward to actually remove this and take it out, but once you do, you can actually store it inside. Take this off, lift it in, cover it back up. Brilliant. Now, you can't get this on the base Sport or the off-roading TrailSport model, and if you're filling this area with the seat, you can't use it for cargo, and you might want to, because with all of this extra space included, I found that you can store more luggage behind the third row than in most other three-row crossovers. So what it might lack in overall volume on paper, it makes up for in versatility. There's more clever storage up front. Besides this pretty deep and useful bin, there's this great big flat area which can be used for a phone. There's a wireless charger on most trim levels, but on a road trip, I've used this for sunglasses, put a sandwich up there. There's also this bin here that can hold a phone. There's a great big shelf here for the passenger, and there's bins in each door. And then there's the cup holders. Normally, I'm complaining about cup holders being too small. These are almost too big. And then there's cup holders in each door. And I love this feature because you don't have to find some place to put your water bottle when you stop on a road trip for a coffee. And I'm not done talking about cup holders. Not only are there two here, but there are two in each door. And then there's another two on each side of the third row. As for other features, these climate controls, they're standard, and these sunshades are standard on every trim but the base Sport. In terms of space, well, besides headroom, legroom, it's just okay for the segment. Space here in the third row, however, is shockingly good. I'm 6'3". I'd actually be comfortable sitting back here. Not only legroom, but there's a ton of headroom, and these windows are really big. Want more info about the latest cars, trucks, and SUVs? Make sure to subscribe to the Capital One Auto Navigator channel. Back up front, because this is where the most fundamental changes for 2026 took place. Every trim level now has this digital instrument panel. It used to be exclusive to the top trim levels, and this new 12.3-inch touchscreen that features Google built-in functions. So Google Assistant voice commands and integrated Google Maps. One of the things I like about this is I just discovered that you can still enter in a destination even if you don't have cell service, like I currently don't. Now, I wouldn't say that this system is class leading, but it is more competitive now. It is easy to use, and one thing I like is that you still have regular buttons and knobs. So the Pilot's interior packaging and storage are big time advantages. But what about those drawbacks? Well, the Hyundai Palisade, Kia Telluride, and Toyota Grand Highlander are all available with hybrid powertrains that not only improve fuel economy, but performance too. The Pilot, no hybrid, and its V6 engine produces 285 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque that doesn't show up until 5,000 RPM. That's pretty high, and it means that you just don't have that oomph off the line and down low. Around town, acceleration is sufficient, but up a long mountainous highway and or filled with people and stuff, acceleration, passing power, underwhelming. So is the transmission. It is just too quick to upshift. You end up having this up, down, of gear shifts every time you get back onto the throttle. It gets old. Now, putting into sport mode does make it a little better, but you're just going uphill. You shouldn't have to put it into sport mode. Fuel economy, also not that great. It's 21 miles per gallon with all-wheel drive, and then 22 with front drive, and 20 with the TrailSport. Now, not surprisingly, that is lower than those various hybrid competitors, but it's also lower than some non-hybrid competitors as well. Now, on the upside, the available all-wheel drive system is really sophisticated. Not only does it send the usual power front and back, but it sends power between the left and rear wheels as well. That's called torque vectoring, and not only is it beneficial in slippery conditions, but for on-road handling as well. And it contributes to the Pilot feeling smaller behind the wheel when compared to other three-row SUVs. And really, I do like driving the Pilot quite a bit. The steering, it's really nice and light at lower speeds, but it tightens up when you're driving on a winding mountain road like this. It's precise, and you can actually feel what the wheels are doing. Now, the suspension can be a little bouncy and floaty around corners, but it does deliver a really comfortable ride, even with this trim level's big old wheels. Finally, pricing, and yep, that is the other drawback. It starts at around $44,000 and tops out around $56,000. That's basically the same range as the new and wildly impressive Hyundai Palisade hybrid. The Kia Telluride hybrid is a little higher, but it's still in the same ballpark, and both of those are bigger and more powerful and more efficient, and in top trim levels, more luxurious. Now, the value comparison with the Toyota Grand Highlander is a little complicated, but in general, compared to those hybrid competitors, the value proposition of this is just a little iffy. And that's a shame, because otherwise, this is a well-rounded three-row family hauler. But for more information about the Honda Pilot, check out Capital One Auto Navigator.